And this is clearly targeting US dollar use ultimately. Do you think this is just the beginning of a further ratcheting up of sanctions and the tensions with Iran here?
It's certainly no surprise. The president said when he made his announcement about the Iran deal that he would be pulling out, that there would be more sanctions to come. And it's really just a testament to the seriousness of that intent. You know, there had been a lot of speculation before the pullout that suggested the president would go easy in reinstituting sanctions. Maybe there would be some sort of interim period that there would be. We wouldn't quite know what it was going to be when he came back with those sanctions. And he's coming right out of the gate. I mean, just a couple of days after he made that announcement, a very strong signal that the U.S. is not going to go easy, and it's certainly going to pose a lot of problems for companies that would do business with Iran. Obviously, European countries. This is going to cause them to sit up a bit straighter in their chairs. Pay more attention.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, in particular, the European companies that have invested, are caught in the crossfire here. Stephen, help me understand the strategy here. Is it that the United States now ratchets up tensions or sanctions to such an extent that whatever the Chinese, the Russians, the EU do, it doesn't help Iran, and they have no choice but to come back to the negotiating table?
Well, it seems clear that that is the president's intention, that we will get yet another Iran nuclear deal, one that is better than the one before. However, I caution any optimism along these lines because we know that bilateral sanctions are significantly weaker than multilateral sanctions. Yeah. And the Iranians are going to figure out ways to get around them. And the Europeans really have no appetite for slapping sanctions on the Iranians now.
Stephen, when you look at sanctions, I mean, they kind of only work, and we saw that with Rusal, and we saw that, of course, with Oleg Deripaska, because the U.S. and the U.S. dollar is a funding currency. Will that ever change? I'm talking 5-10 years. But is it something that actually will give, I guess, more, fervor to the Chinese and to Russia to get away from dollars?
Well, it's certainly possible. And of course, we've heard about these kinds of things. We've seen Vladimir Putin talk about getting away from dollars while he's actually trying to get away from euros. But it is certainly with the United States ending the Iran nuclear deal without a real strategy. And it leaves the international community somewhat in disarray, Europeans wondering what's next. It provides opportunity for the Russians and the Chinese to step in where the United States seems to be retrenching and moving out and outside the international consensus.